だが堀北、俺はお前を仲間だと思ったことはない。お前も櫛田も平田もすべての人間は道具でしかない。家庭は関係ない。どんな犠牲を払おうと構わない。この世は勝つことが全てだ。最後に俺が勝ってさえいればそれでいい。
Now ये एक ऐसा आइकॉनिक सीन है जिसकी वजह से क्लासरूम ऑफ द एलीट को एनिमे कम्युनिटी के कुछ सबसे पॉपुलर एनिमे में से गिना जाता है। पर अगर हम बताएं कि दिस सीन नेवर एक्चुअली हैपेंड इन द लाइट नॉवेल तो आपको कैसा लगेगा? Well, it's actually true. And so आज हम बात करने वाले हैं क्लासरूम ऑफ द एलीट के बारे में, the light novel that you definitely must read right now. Classroom of the Elite is a light novel written by Shogo Kinugasa और इसे जापान के कुछ सबसे पॉपुलर लाइट नॉवेल में से गिना जाता है. I had known about it even before the anime, but my first real encounter with this series was through the infamous anime itself. मुझे बहुत लोगों ने एनिमे रेकमेंड किया था, majorly इसके एंडिंग सीन की वजह से. But when I tried it, I found it to be quite mediocre. Do not get me wrong, the production quality of the anime was really good, but the plot itself felt somewhat weird, underwhelming and lackluster. At that point, मुझे थोड़ा validation चाहिए था कि क्या इस anime के बारे में मुझे ही ऐसा feel हो रहा है या कि और भी लोग हैं. So I went on Reddit.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
I know, it wasn't a very good decision, as the most I found were some edgy kids talking about how all humans are just tools. पर finally मुझे एक अकेला ऐसा thread मिला which had the answers to all my questions. इस anime के प्रोडक्शन में इतने इश्यूज थे कि क्लासरूम ऑफ द एलीट के ऑथर को भी एनिमे पसंद नहीं आया था. From cutting important scenes to changing chronology of the major events to giving unnecessary screen time to just one single character, the anime frankly did a pretty pathetic job of covering the light novel. So मैंने डिसाइड किया कि मैं इस लाइट नॉवेल को एक बार तो ट्राई जरूर करूं. And boy, oh boy, it has been one wild ride since then. मैंने अभी तक बहुत लाइट नॉवेल्स पढ़े हैं, but there has been none that has managed to hook me up like this. पहले भी मैंने ऐसे बहुत सारे एनिमे देखे हैं, like क्वालिटिया कोड और टैबू टैटू, जिनका प्लॉट बहुत यूनिक और इंट्रीगिंग होने के बावजूद भी एनिमे स्टूडियोज ने एग्जीक्यूशन में गंदी तरह से मैसअप कर दिया. और क्लासरूम ऑफ द एलीट भी इसी कैटेगरी में बिलोंग करता है. At its core, क्लासरूम ऑफ द एलीट is a story about the clash of the ideals, hard work and talent. ये सीरीज शुरू होता है एक क्वेश्चन के साथ. Are human beings truly equal? Human society always yearns for equality. और ये कुछ हद तक सही भी है. We may all be equal at birth, but soon gaps start to form as we grow up. Maybe due to our efforts or due to some natural talent that blooms out of the blue. So equality might be a false concept that we made up for our own comfort. And taking that inequality as its foundation, Otaku Senior High School was built to shape students to become perfectly functional members of society and not just someone with superficial knowledge. Surface level में ये high school किसी भी student के लिए एक heaven से कम नहीं है, as it is backed by the government and considered to be highly ranked in Japan. इस high school campus में सभी तरह के amenities available है, shopping complex से लेकर सिनेमा हॉल तक, और सभी students को हर महीने 100,000 private points दिए जाते हैं, जिन्हें students campus के अंदर कुछ भी खरीदने के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं. But there's a catch. You cannot leave the campus until you graduate, and the situation is far from ideal. Like इस high school में सभी students को 4 classes में divide किया जाता है, class A to class D. लेकिन यहाँ भी एक catch है. Only students who graduate from class A will get the opportunity to get a job or university of their choice right after graduation. और class D के students को defective consider किया जाता है. However, everyone gets an equal opportunity, and even class D can swap places with class A as long as they meet certain criteria or have enough private points. इसके प्लॉट की सबसे खास बात यही है कि सारे इवेंट्स एक क्लोज knitted environment में होते हैं, so they can focus solely on it and make the plot more gritty and intense. All the classes try to take down each other through manipulation and deceit to claim the right to graduate from class A. So आपको अभी तक ये पता चल ही गया होगा कि the light novel का plot काफी यूनिक और इंटरेस्टिंग है. All the mind games between the classes as they try to bring each other down and all the unpredictability it brings with it. आपको हमारे सोसाइटी का एक रियलिस्टिक ग्लिम्स प्रोवाइड करता है ये, where it is the survival of the fittest. Inequality, talent and hard work. Classroom of the elite इन सभी points के around focus करता है and crafts the premise that captures your attention as soon as you get into it. और Classroom of the elite के characters इसके plot को बहुत अच्छे से complement करते हैं. Contrary to the theme, not every student is cunning and manipulative as some. जैसे जैसे आप Class D के students से introduce होते हैं, you start to realize कि क्यों they are called the class of defectives. Also, one thing to note is that Class D में total 40 students है, पर anime में 20 दिखाया गया है. मुझे नहीं पता ऐसा क्यों किया गया है, पर आने वाली सीजन्स में ये प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट कर सकता है. सो इफ यू वांट टू नो मोर अबाउट द डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन द एनिमे एंड द लाइट नॉवल, हमने ट्विटर पे एक कंपाइलेशन थ्रेड बनाया है. यू कैन डेफिनेटली एंड यू शुड डेफिनेटली चेक इट आउट. नाउ प्रमोशंस काफी हो गया. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट आयनोकोजी कियोटाका. He is probably the most favorite character of all the edgy teens who consider him to be a god or the perfect human. Well, all I can say is he's not perfect at all. As a reader, it's kind of hard to understand him as he lies not only in his dialogues but in his monologues as well. Story के start में वो खुद को एक normal student की तरह portray करता है because he just wants to live a peaceful life and recover all that he has lost during his time in the White Room. He wants to experience what normalcy feels like, what high school life is like, what falling in love feels like, what most importantly he wants to escape from that man, his father. और अगर situation उसके against में जाती है, then वो अपनी abilities को use करने में hesitate नहीं करता है to manipulate the situation to his favor. At this point, all I can say is आयनोकोजी शायद White Room के context पे एक perfect character हो सकता है, but he's still very much imperfect in real life. और अगर आप ये सोच रहे हैं कि what is this White Room I keep referring to, तो आपको season 2 का वेट करना पड़ेगा या आप वॉल्यूम 5 भी पढ़ सकते हैं to know more about it. Basically, White Room is an experiment run by Ayanokoji's father to prove his idea that geniuses can be created by hard work and a bit of talent. In his ideal, hard work can never be outdone by talent alone. और Ayanokoji इसी experiment का एक successful result है and that's why his father wants him back. So उसको एक average student की तरह act करना पड़ता है to continue living his peaceful life. But in reality, his true nature is beyond messed up, as is evident from that two speech. और अभी तक खाली दो ही लोगों को आयनोकोजी की ट्रू नेचर के बारे में पता है, कारुइजावा के एंड हिराटा योस्के. दोनों के खुद के अलग अलग सर्कमस्टेंसेस है फॉर बीइंग इन क्लास डी. पहले कुछ वॉल्यूम्स में शायद आपको कारुइजावा की पर्सनालिटी और बिहेवियर पसंद नहीं आएगी, पर इसके पीछे भी बहुत सारे रीजंस है. She was bullied in her previous middle school and doesn't want to go through that again. That's why she has created a front like that. Well, वॉल्यूम 6 के बाद से आपको कारुइजावा के कैरेक्टर में बहुत ज्यादा डेवलपमेंट देखने को मिलेगा. And now she plays a very important role in the story and Ayanokoji's life as well. Then Hirata, जो बाहर से इतना परफेक्ट लगता है, has his own defects and a dark past. He lost his friend to bullying and blames himself for not helping him. But when he becomes a liability in volume 10, Ayanokoji actually shows his true nature to break him. One of the things he describes from that time is looking into the cold and lifeless glare of Ayanokoji like it's an abyss. When you stare at it, it stares right back at you. Hirata को अपनी shortcomings का realization होता है and he gets to really know what it means to lead class D. Even though Ayanokoji tries to live a normal life, उसका class D के हर student पे कुछ न कुछ effect रहा है. Especially Horikita, who has seen the most development. As पहले वो खुद को अपने brother से inferior consider करती थी and used to follow his footsteps, neglecting her own talent. But now, after confronting her weakness, she becomes one of the pivotal figures of class D and a proxy face to Ayanokoji. पर अगर मुझे उसका पूरा character development sum up करना है, so this meme does the job for me. Kushida is still a bitch even in the light novel. Now after year 2, volume 5, कुछ लोग होरिकीटा को ब्लेम करते हैं for saving Kushida, पर मुझे लगता है ये डिसीजन सबसे ज्यादा लॉजिकल था, क्योंकि Kushida at this point is like a ticking time bomb. If she goes down, she will take class D along with her. But inversely, अगर मुझे ये बोलना है कि कुछ लोगों का इन्फ्लुएंस आयनोकोजी पर भी हुआ है, then that would be the Ayanokoji group. Haruka, Sakura, Akito and Yukimura. Nothing but a bunch of loners coming together, but all of them showed what friendship and relationships really means to Ayanokoji. They may have been a temporary group, but they went a long way, well at least until the recent volume. नॉवल में इचिनोसे और आयनोकोजी के बीच में बहुत सारे इंटरैक्शंस है जिन्हें एनिमे में पूरी तरह से गायब कर दिया गया है. I wonder why. Like during the incident with Sudo and Class C, it was Ichinose and Ayanokoji who outsmarted Class C in the staircase and not Horikita. So अगर आपने लाइट नॉवल नहीं पढ़ा है, then आपको आगे की स्टोरी में उनके बीच के डायलॉग्स और इंटरैक्शंस बहुत वियर्ड लगने वाले हैं. In the light novel, Ayanokoji has even saved Ichinose quite a lot of time. And how can we forget our best boy Ryuen? Ryuen शायद सीरीज के सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग कैरेक्टर्स में से है. As someone who did not know fear, Ayanokoji actually managed to instill fear in him. And finally, there is Sakyanagi Arisu, the one who believes in talent over everything. She has known Ayano Koji since the White Room and has been trying to challenge him to prove her ideas. और finally हमें ये volume 11 में देखने को मिलता है in the form of the proxy chess match. It's one of the best things in the novel. इस light novel के plot का witty और unpredictable nature, along with the contradicting cast of geniuses and defects, combined with one of the most well-written and interesting MC of all time, makes this light novel such an interesting read. I mean, it's just phenomenal that some author can write a character like Ayano Koji. अभी तक हमने खाली Ayano Koji के पास के कुछ glimpses ही देखे हैं. So not just the characters in the story, but also we as readers still don't know much about him. In the current volumes, Ayano Koji has finally started to show his true abilities as his father has started interfering in his peaceful life. All in all, Classroom of the Elite का light novel मेरे लिए एक unexpected discovery रहा था. However, it's a light novel that you absolutely must read. So go read and matane.